Time now for a new edition of a segment we call What's in a Name. This is where we pack years, sometimes decades, sometimes centuries of history into one 3-minute TV segment. And today we're talking about a lake and a city in the area that share the same name.
Yep, we are talking about Lake Oswego. Sunrise reporter Devin Askins has been producing these stories for us, and he's live in Lake Oswego this morning with a closer look at how Lake O came to be. Hey, Devin.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, here in Lake Oswego, it's easy, like any city we live in or know, kind of easy to take for granted how that city came to be named. Unless you take a quick look at the history behind that. And here in Lake Oswego, it was actually named for a nearby creek that had something swimming inside of it. With more than 13 miles of lake shoreline, Lake Oswego, or Oswego Lake, whatever you decide to call it, is home to some pretty pricey real estate. These days, homes sell for millions of dollars. But this wasn't always the case.
They literally could not give away lakefront property.
Okay, so let's introduce our historian here. This is Mark Brown, a volunteer archivist at the Oswego Heritage House in Lake Oswego.
It's a remarkable bubble of history for me.
Obviously, Lake Oswego didn't look like this, or even this, in 1847. It looked more like this. Trees. Lots and lots of trees. In 1847 is when the city's founder, Albert Alonzo Durham, and his wife Miranda moved here.
When he got here, he was a millwright, but when he got here, he was looking for a waterfall to drive the mill.
So he settled on the north side of the lake where it meets a creek, and named the city Oswego, after the city in New York. Why he chose Oswego is anyone's guess.
He was actually born in a county, 4 counties over.
But the lake once held a different name. Check out the lake's name from the survey map of 1852. Yep, Lake Oswego was once known as Sucker Lake, named after the creek that feeds from it into the Willamette River. The creek had been farmed and fished by native tribes for lamprey eels. Don't they look adorable? But because the lamprey eels were in such large supply, it earned the name of Sucker Creek and thus Sucker Lake.
You know, it's remarkable. It was this sort of free grocery store for everybody, and that was its draw.
Durham moved away in '66 and settled the community of Durham near Tualatin. So how did Oswego go from this to this? Well, money, of course. Around the same time Durham was moving out, the iron industry moved in. When iron was found in the hills, the hope was that Oswego would become the Pittsburgh of the West. The land had iron and had enough trees to keep a furnace like this one burning. But unfortunately, the iron business flamed out, and all that's left today is this furnace that's still standing in George Rogers Park. The iron company in turn sold the land as real estate, and with lakefront property for sale, you'd think it'd be a hot commodity.
They literally could not give away lakefront property.
Without a road to access the lake, no one really wanted to move down there. You had to go through mud to reach it. The lake was more used for transporting lumber. Plus, imagine marketing homes on Sucker Lake.
It was hard. Of course, one of the reason they changed it to Oswego was because it's a lot better for real estate purposes.
In 1913, the lake's name changed from Sucker Lake to Oswego Lake. And in 1960, the community of Lake Grove was annexed into the city, and the name changed from Oswego to Lake Oswego. All right, so now it's officially known as Lake Oswego. Both the city and the lake are officially known as Lake Oswego. But before, let's back up a little bit. Before it was even known as Lake Oswego, it was for a time known as Tualatin Lake and then obviously Sucker Lake. The native tribes actually called it Waluga, which means swan. Back to you.
Oh, interesting. Always learn something from your pieces. Devin, thank you much. He has a whole slew of them. If you'd like to get caught up on the entire What's in a Name series, text the word name to the number on your screen, 503-226-5088. We will text you back with a link to watch on KGW.com.